the Words Their Way Primary Spelling Inventory. Background. Who developed Words Their Way Primary Spelling Inventory? I have a group of people here who developed Words Their Way: Donald R. Baer, Shane Templeton, Marcia Invernizzi, and Francine Johnston. Donald R. Baer focused on the literacy development and instruction portion. Shane Templeton's focus is the development of orthographic knowledge. Marcia Invernizzi focuses on the clinical practica in reading diagnosis and remedial reading. Francine Johnston is a consultant and researcher in current spelling practices and materials, and the relationship between spelling and reading achievement. Targeted grade levels. The primary spelling inventories are targeted for kindergarten through 3rd grade. The type of assessment that the primary spelling inventory is, it's mainly for developmental placement. Spelling inventories are helpful for determining a student's developmental spelling stage. Purpose. Why do we take a primary spelling inventory assessment? Well, the purpose for administering this assessment is for learning. It gives us knowledge, or provides us with knowledge of a student's spelling stage, which helps with instructional planning and proper placement. In a nutshell, spelling inventories are used to help group students by spelling developmental stages. What is a primary spelling inventory assessment? Well, it's basically a list or inventory of words like you see on the right. We have the words columns, the student spelling column, and check marks where the words were spelled correctly by the student. It begins with words at a relatively easy level, such as bed. The words gradually become more difficult to spell as you go down the list. It is similar to a regular spelling test in which you say the word and then use it in a sentence. Students will listen and do their best to spell the word out on their piece of paper. However, it is different from a regular spelling assessment because students don't have to study or do not study the words beforehand. As a teacher, you must tell students that it is okay to misspell the words because they didn't study them before the test, and that there will be words that they will not know how to spell, and that they must try their best and be reassured that they will not be graded on this activity. How to administer. A student either prepares their own numbered paper or has a prepared one given to them. Each word is read out loud by the teacher and repeated one more time and then used in a sentence. The words must be read and spoken naturally without emphasis on phonemes or syllables. The inventory can be given to the whole group or small groups of students. If a student or groups of students are having special difficulty with the inventory, a lower leveled inventory can be administered. What we learned from this assessment. Well, the results of the inventory can be used to get a general picture of each student's spelling development. When a student has finished the assessment, teachers need to set aside some time to complete the feature guide for each student. On the right, I have a picture here of the student list. They had a prepared list given to them to take the assessment, and here you see that they wrote down their spellings. The teacher then sets aside some time for each student to check whether they got these spelling components correctly, like the first consonant, middle vowel, and last consonant on words like fan. Here you see, on the right of that, you see a feature guide. Now the feature guide helps to analyze and clarify student errors. It helps to confirm developmental stages and helps with guiding specific areas for instruction. For example, if a student has trouble with the middle vowel, it would become very apparent in this feature guide because you would not be able to put a check mark there. You would know, well, there were 3 words in a row or 3 words where he did not get the middle vowel correct. And so then you would know that this is a specific area that the student needs further instruction in. Each column of the feature guide has a different spelling feature. Like I mentioned before, initial consonant and final consonant. And there are others. You put a check mark next to each feature the student spelled correctly. The feature guide helps to pinpoint very specific instruction for the student in a very specific instruction area. Pros and cons. Pros. It's easy to administer. It provides specific target areas for instruction. It can be administered to the whole class at the same time. And it's easy to group students into spelling stages because the feature guide makes it very apparent what students need more help on. The cons. It is time consuming because you have to fill out a feature guide for each and every student, and that is very time consuming. Teachers need to be aware of student frustrations and needs to stop administering when students have hit their ceiling. This is especially difficult when you do it administered during whole group. There will be groups of students that will have hit their ceiling, and there will be groups of students that are still ready, are still working. So as a teacher, you have to, that's left up to your discretion. It can be difficult to administer to groups because it needs to be highly organized. There is no current public debate. And here are my references. I did use the assessment PDF from Words Their Way. And I used this blog by Becky Spence, the Reading Mama. And she was very helpful in describing the feature guide. Thank you.